Video game developers have always been battling to protect their content against pirates and piracy, and have always been on the lookout for more inventive ways to stop them in their tracks. And today, and for a fifth time, we're going to be checking out some of the most creative, punishing, cruelest and entertaining methods that have been used to hinder, mock, troll and punish those who are not willing to pay, as we take a look at some super anti-piracy measures in video games, and right here on the Easter Egg Hunter. During the 80s and the early 90s, the Amiga scene was rife with piracy, and it was never very long before games were cracked and being dished out for free, and some developers became so sick of this that they started hiding messages in their code to vent their frustrations at the hackers. And when it came to the 1991 platform adventure of Leander, created by John Burton, it too would also find itself being distributed far and wide once the initial copy protection code had been removed, which had the job of sending the game into a loop to eventually crash it. However, even though the game was now out there was still the problem of John's second well-hidden copy protection code that managed to avoid being fully cracked for a very long time, and this would deal pirates several nasty blows. The first was that the game would reduce the player's damage in half, meaning that all enemies would now require more hits to kill them. And while yeah, that didn't seem so bad, it was when you reached the 4th level that you had to travel east to a cave to retrieve the silver bow, which in turn would activate the portal so you could progress to the next level. The only problem was John's code would remove this platform needed in order to exit the cave, which effectively ended the game. But wait, surely pirates could just use the level skip codes? Well, no, because John's code not only deactivated all cheats, but it would also go a step further by removing all terrain from the stages after level 4 if the pirates managed to hack their way forward, meaning now they would always fall to their deaths. Next, we're taking a look at the action rhythm titles created by developers NeoWiz, who have created many games that focus on the player choosing songs and hitting notes at specific moments in order to keep the tracks going, score points, and aim to gain higher ranks. The games have been released for Windows, on mobile devices, in the arcades, and predominantly on Sony's PSP, which is where we're going to focus on thanks to YouTuber, developer, and musician RGBMU, who at the end of 2020 documented the anti-piracy measures of 6 of their titles, and Mew has kindly allowed me to use some of the footage, but you can find links to Mew's full coverage and social links within the description. Oh, and I will mention that the following segment includes bright flashing lights and high-pitched sounds. So one of the better results Mew recorded came from DJMAX Fever, which starts off with the game acting normal, but after some time you would begin to hear the odd crackle and the game starting to randomise the pitch of notes. The crackles then start to get louder. And while that doesn't seem so bad, it's then when the user interface begins to flash, fading in and out and making it difficult to play. In fact, even after more time, you won't even worry about playing because the game just simply takes over, plays by itself, and then eventually dies. And while the other titles produced similar results, some of them had more violent flashing screens. One of them even randomises all the notes. And in some cases the games leave you with demonic sounds, an unnerving feeling and some pure nightmare fuel. Onwards now to Capcom's Ace Attorney Investigations 2 on the Nintendo DS, which has been home to some rather awesome anti-piracy measures, and this one is no different. As if you manage to get hold of a pirated copy of the game, then you're in for a rather tough time, as instead of actually being able to dive into the storyline, get to know the characters, or get a sense of what the hell is going on, or what even to do by reading the game's text, you were instead greeted by the Borginian language. Yes, a completely unreadable font. And while yes, of course, you can indeed keep playing the game, the question is, would you really want to? Yeah, next up is Insomniac Games' awesome Spyro Year of the Dragon, released back in 2000 on the Sony PlayStation 1. But it wasn't so awesome for those that pirated it, and in fact, it's probably home to the most creative anti-piracy measures and punishing booby traps that will blow up in your face. So as you begin, everything will seem normal. You can complete some levels, collect some gems and eggs, but after about 40 minutes or so, the first telltale signs that something is wrong is when you are unexpectedly greeted by Zoe.
I'm sorry, Spyro, but you seem to be playing a hacked version of this game. This may be an illegal copy. Since this copy has been modified, you may experience problems that would not occur on a legal copy.
And while it's not the end of the game, it's definitely the start of a very frustrating and painful experience. And some of the most notorious measures you will encounter include the language of characters suddenly changing.
Als ich sie das letzte Mal allein gelassen habe, haben sie alle Schindel vom Dach gefressen.
Enemies sometimes won't drop any gems. The game often softlocks and removes the ability to pause and save the game. And as YouTuber Proto found out during an 8-hour playthrough while trying to get 100%, link in the description if you want to watch it, Proto experienced eggs being randomly removed after resetting the game. Eggs collected at the end of all the worlds went missing, which meant Proto had to revisit them all over again to get them back. Sheila's area was closed off after coming out of it. Transport between areas was removed. And after 8 hours of headache, Proto finally faced the sorceress near the end of the game, only to be kicked out of the level and returned to the beginning world, where the game removed all the eggs and gems, and basically Proto would have to start the game all over again. Okay, time for something a little different now, as it was many years ago and sometime before 2010 when Noah discovered something late one night while playing Pokemon FireRed on the Visual Boy, and while handing over the Aurora ticket to the sailor in Vermilion City, as he discovered the sailor would say this. Yeah, it appeared that Noah had stumbled upon a cheeky anti-piracy message and that no one had documented about on the internet before, so he took some pictures and decided to create his own animation and a website specifically for it. And over the following years, others chimed in to say that they too had seen the message, while others said it was a hoax, it had been faked, and many disputed it because they could not find it within the Pokemon FireRed ROMs. Well, the truth is, if you happen to take the majority of Pokemon FireRed ROMs off the internet and pop them into a hex editor, you will not be able to find this message anywhere, especially at the said line of address. However, wanting to prove this for myself and see whether it was real or not, I decided to return to Noah's website, because many years ago he had listed the exact ROM he had used and included the MD5 hashes. And after searching the internet for it multiple times, I finally found a copy. And it just so happens that if you do view it in a hex editor and go to the address from before and translate the code using poke ASCII, that you will indeed find that message. The problem I found now though was triggering it in the game, as first I used action replay cheats to get the Aurora ticket, but the sailor never noticed I had it. At this point I was pretty stumped, so I decided to use another method and cheat my way all the way up until the point when he received the rainbow pass on one island. It's then when I decided to fill out the questionnaire in the Pokemart to enable the mystery gift and used this tutorial to gain the Aurora ticket legitimately. And it was then when I returned to Vermilion City and visited the sailor that he would have this to say. So yes, this message does indeed exist, but apparently not on the official ROMs, and was more than likely placed there by the hacker who initially dumped this ROM onto the internet all those years ago. But who this was and when exactly that happened is a mystery that we may never know the answer to. Over the last 5 episodes of Super Anti-Piracy Measures, we have seen many creative and amusing ways to stop pirates in their tracks, from the giant red scorpion in Serious Sam, to several drunk cameras, to developers literally calling you out,
"Do what you want cause a pirate is free, you are a pirate,"
to dead ends, funky hair, deaths, to being locked in a car and killed, and to controls simply being removed. But one of my favourite methods that was discovered was found in Crysis Warhead. As if you were using a badly cracked copy or no CD patch, then there was a chance upon reaching the second level that the game would replace your ammunition with something that literally had no effect upon enemies. And as these following YouTubers documented many years ago.
I'm also tracking 2 troop carriers and a KPA truck. But what the hell? Just tear up the whole damn resort. KPA trucks are pulling up onto the beach.
O'Neill, listen up. I wasn't planning on going solo. I need munitions. What you got?
Okay, wait one while I access their mill net.